With Deltarune Chapter 5 finally out, many people have rushed to create new theories about the game based on the new lore and revelations the game may have given us. We've seen theories discussing a surprising new candidate for the night, some more insight into the truth about Hometown, and a bit more information regarding December's disappearance. But we're not here to talk about any of that. Today, we're going to be talking about everyone's favorite mystery man himself, WD Gaster. Now I know, a new Gaster theory in 2026?
How relevant! How new!
But bear with me here. This theory actually offers a bit of a fresh take and a bit of a new perspective on what we know about Gaster, as well as offering some new explanations on other elements of the game that may relate to him. Today, we'll be talking about how Gaster actually may be a pirate. Now, I have seen this idea pop up pretty recently, but I decided to make a video compiling all the evidence as well as putting my own take on it. But hold on, I hear you say. I thought Gaster was the royal scientist. That doesn't make any sense at all. And while that may have been true at one point, it is no longer. You see, after Gaster was shattered across time and space, he found himself taking on a new identity in an unfamiliar territory. And that identity is one of a seafaring pirate. More accurately, a cursed pirate who became a shell of his former self, like Captain Barbossa from Pirates of the Caribbean, a man who finds himself between the borders of life and death. Now, I'd say that description applies pretty well to Gaster, wouldn't you? To make it even more clear, Gaster is a skeleton, the very image associated with several cursed pirates, as well as the Jolly Roger, the most iconic symbol when it comes to pirate imagery. And while we're on the subject of water, let's talk about the mysterious Song of the Sea that Onion Sun is said to hear coming from under the lake. A song from the sea sure sounds like it could very well be a sea shanty, and with the Chapter 5 weird route further alluding to the lake's connection to the dark worlds and the depths, it's very likely that the song could be Gaster and his merry pirate crew having a jaunty old time aboard their great ship. Speaking of their ship, let's talk about Rue's card for a minute. This may seem like a bit of a tangent here, but trust me. It's been pointed out that rules may have some similarities to Gaster. Their faces are of a similar shape, they're both seen speaking on hands, and they both make their own rules, so to speak. But there's something in particular I'd like to point out. In Rule's card's boss fight from Chapter 2, he's seen piloting the previously discarded Thrash machine from Chapter 1, which itself has parallels to the Ghana Maker from the beginning of the game. Not only that, but before he reveals the Thrash machine as his ultimate weapon, Rules is seen piloting a grayed out monochrome vessel. Let me say that again. A grayed out monochrome vessel, just like the Ghana Maker, where we first hear Gaster speaking to us at the beginning of the game. Could this double meaning actually signify something else about Gaster? Perhaps the creation of the vessel was never about making a player character for a soul. Maybe it was about helping Gaster create a better, more reliable ship for him and his crew to sail the depths of the ocean. All these connections lead to one possibility. Gaster is, in fact, a pirate. One of his followers is even a parrot, who also happens to be a pretty killer chef, a staple of any pirate crew. So, what does this all mean for Deltarune's future, and how does Gaster's role in the story change because of this theory? Well, for one thing, it changes our preconceived ideas about Gaster's appearance and how he'll present himself to us when the time comes around. While his general demeanor may not be that far off, as it's pretty much all we have to go off of, thanks to him only appearing through dialogue so far, I feel like we should expect him to come off of less like an eccentric mad scientist and more of a cunning pirate captain. Of course, his background as a mad scientist certainly will inform the latter. Next, we need to take into account his goals. Up until now, Gaster's main goal throughout Deltarune is somewhat unclear. Does he want us to follow the prophecy, to change it, and why? What's his motive? Well, I'd propose it's just what most other pirates want, to live on their own terms and to search for treasure. In this case, it may be a treasure in a more metaphorical sense. You know how they do the real treasure was the friends we meet along the way thing. Yeah, it could be something like that. Gaster has always said how he values our connection and all that. He could be reaching out to us so he could finally obtain the most valuable treasure of all, a meaningful friendship. Maybe that's why he set up the prophesized heroes to come together and face the odds, just so he could see what a true tested bond looks like for himself. In all seriousness though, I don't think they'd really go that far into camp territory for the supposed mastermind behind the game. He could just be using his pirate identity as a means of survival in the depths, again to serve more of a metaphor of him being lost between worlds, and sailing across the vast sea of the Dark World. He does still have his old sensibilities as a royal scientist after all. And he could just be adapting to the whole pirate thing as a means to an end, or, it's just a cool idea and it's really fun to think about. Well, that's about it for Pirate Gaster theory. Just a fun, unique take on Deltarune's most mysterious figure. I gotta say, it is pretty funny how the past couple years have brought up some pretty unique theories about the guy. Just last year after Chapter 3 and 4's release, everyone was going about how Gaster is green, citing all these examples that connect him back to Sanson Papyrus, just like they did back in Undertale when the game first came out. I do wonder if we'll get any more funny ideas like this in the future, or if by the time Chapter 6 comes out, we may actually have a better idea about Gaster's true nature, since the game could be building up to his eventual debut within the next couple of years. So, will he be revealed to be a pirate all along by then? Who knows? Anyway, what do you guys think? Overall, I'm pretty happy with how this whole project turned out, so I'd be happy to hear your comments. That's all for me today though, until next time.